Hi, I'm James Crichton, and in today's video tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to select, prepare, and ultimately perform your next musical theater audition with a song or your next play audition with a monologue. For most musical theater auditions, it would be pretty smart to sing your song out of context of the show. What does that mean? Okay, so I landed, for our purposes today, on the song Who I'd Be from Shrek the Musical. Now, taking the song out of context, because I am not a green ogre, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it specific to me. And how do I do that? Well, I'm going to log on to the computer, or if you don't have access to a computer, it's totally fine to get out a sheet of loose leaf and write it down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to write out the following. At the top of my Microsoft document, I'm going to write moment before. Underneath that, I'm going to write, what do I want? And pay close attention. When you're typing out your lyrics on a Microsoft Word document, make sure you don't just Google the lyrics to your song and copy and paste it into a Word document. I want you to be really specific as you go through your material. What that means, and this is just a random selection book, this is Little Women the Musical. If I'm going through and being really specific with how I'm typing the words and the punctuation, this song is called Could You? And it says right here, you could never bend your will, period. You're gonna insert that period when you type out your transcription. You could never follow through, period. You could never bite your tongue, comma, though your tongue may split in two, period. I want you to observe all of the punctuation. Everything that the playwright or lyricist or composer has laid out on these black and white pages is a gift and a tool for you. Figure out how you can mine your way through all of it. Punctuation matters, notes matter. Everything on the page is given to you as a gift so you can exercise your craft in the best way. Once I've answered those two important questions out of context of the show, I can feel free to then break down the lyrics to answer those questions. Now, since we're taking it out of context of the show, you can answer those questions any way you want. How do I, James, access who I'd be? First, highlight all the verbs in the sentence. Doing this will help you realize all the things in your sentences that are the most active. Second, circle all of the conjunctions. Third, you're going to put brackets next to the sentences that you feel all belong in one group that pertain to a thought. With each thought, you're going to connect an action verb. Implore, to move someone. These are things that you are trying to do. And the last thing you're gonna do is you're gonna write at the end of the lyrics, by the end. And by the end, I want you to really think about if there's been a change in your song. By the end of your musical theater audition cut, there should be a clear beginning, middle, and an end. And by the end, something should shift in the character. You only have a short amount of time to tell a very compact story, so use that time wisely. All of this preparation is what's going to allow your work to be more specific in the audition room. This is what's going to allow you to bring your true, authentic self to the material in a way that only you can. For a monologue, you're going to want to show off who you are in the world as an actor. Your goal is to change the energy of the room. What you do, and only you can do, that brings the room to life in a way that no one else can. What makes you special? You want your monologue to scream, "This is who I am." You're going to want to avoid monologues that tell a 1 to 2 minute story remembering something. You're also going to want to avoid something that's very emotional and difficult to connect to in 2 minutes. Bold equals specific. Be a script detective. Pull things out of the language that the playwright maybe didn't even originally intend. You want to go so deep within the monologue, mining through every sentence, understanding each facet of its punctuation to really get into the mindset of what this playwright intended for the character. Do use a script from a play. Avoid using monologues from a monologue book that was just written for that purpose. And also, it's not incredibly effective to perform a self-written piece. And don't forget, when at all possible, give yourself all of the information that you can. Read the full script. Don't read up to just the point in the play that your character delivers the monologue. Read the whole play to understand how your character functions in the world. Just like in our song assignment, you're going to type out your monologue, double-spaced, and you're going to ask yourself the same questions. What is my moment before? What do I want? The space in between the lines, just like in our musical theater selection, is for you to be a detective. Maybe you want to add a slash after each sentence at the period to understand where the character's thoughts ended. Maybe in the margins, you want to draw a parenthesis and say, I'm feeling this way right now. Maybe you want to use the tabs on the side to make a note of how you felt after you read each sentence, how you personally felt. And maybe, just maybe, that's how the character is feeling too. The important thing with a monologue from a play is that the monologue exists, but usually there's something that gets you into it. If you have access to your script, find the line before the monologue begins and ask yourself, what is that moment before that sets off my character on this journey to speak? Remember, when a character in a play or in real life delivers a monologue, they don't set out to deliver a long speech. More often than not, the thoughts start rolling in and the character either is very knowing in terms of what they'd like to address, or it rattles off in a frenetic way and the character sort of word vomits all of these things that they didn't even begin to think they wanted to express. Okay, you've done your detective work. Now you're ready to get up, practice performing your monologue, make sure you're thinking about the person that you're speaking to, making sure that everything is specific, and then get up and just practice. Practice in your room. Practice in the shower. Practice as you lay down and close your eyes at night. I would be so happy to see your own work. If you're feeling particularly bored or unmotivated during this scary time in our world, and you want to get yourself a new monologue or you want to get yourself a new song, I'd love to see it. Email the link below and everything will be forwarded to me personally. And I'd be so happy to provide you with feedback, commentary, or additional suggestions. Maybe I could point you in the direction of other material that might be more appropriate or you might not yet have discovered. If you're also seeking more information and liked the style of this video, you might want to check out my podcast called Actors on Process, which is available anywhere that podcasts can be streamed. It's an invaluable look into process and what it takes to make a career in the performing arts. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I so look forward to seeing your videos.